welcome. Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Giving everyone a second to get logged in so that we can get started. I truly missed you all last week. So just giving everyone just a few seconds and we'll be ready to get started. Thank you so much for your continued support. No, you just read it to me. Or tell me, sure, tell me when you're ready. Hi, sister. How are you? Hey, me. Hey, twin. Okay. Hey, twin. So, last week I didn't get to get on. I was on vacation, had a wonderful time in California. However, what I forgot about is that it was a different time zone. So I was all set up, had everything ready for the hotel at 5:11 on that Wednesday, which would have been 8:11 you all's time. So I didn't get to do it because if I had moved the time back, we had already had a tour booked to go see the Hollywood sign. So I couldn't shift that around. So I did miss you guys. I know we wanted to finish off Black History Month last month. Um, but we're going to do Women's History Month. As you know, March starts Women History Month. It's also my mom's birthday month. She'll be celebrating her birthday on the 9th of March. And I'll make sure I come back with more birthdays. Hey, Chucky, what's up? So let's see. I did get my COVID vaccine on Monday, and I was I ain't gonna say really, really sick, but I was really down on Tuesday, really tired, and so yes, I finally did it. Um, my arm was swollen. I still have like a little swelling under my arm too. That's a little uncomfortable, but I did do it. So clap to me and pray for me because you all know that it was definitely something that I didn't want to do. Um, and I definitely want to give a shout out to I think his name Chucky. Maybe you can help me with that. Is his name Cavry Arrington? Is that the young basketball player? That still refuses to get vaccinated and can't play in some games. I hope I'm not saying his name wrong. As well as what's his name? Cameron Irving. Irving. Okay. And also, I want to give another big shout out to Ice Cube. As you all know, he had to turn down a movie because he was not vaccinated as well. I think he's is Oh, okay. Also, today is World Team Mental Health Day. Thank you, Twin. World Team Mental Health Day. So we're gonna try to talk about. We're gonna try to throw that in there a little bit as well. And thank you, Chucky. You said it. I got it. So that's correct. I do want to do a few. So is it Cali Irvington? So it's not an R. So it's K. uh, Okay, so it's Kyrie. Okay, got it, okay. So I do want to see what we can pull up on World Team Mental Health Day since that's the day we want to talk about that, and we're going to do a little bit of trivia for Women's History Month. If anyone have any of the things that they wanted to share for last week, hey sister, that they wanted to share for last week, please feel free to shoot me a text and I'll read what you wanted to share as well. So text me at 202-758-8941. And we're gonna go right into some trivia. Hey Donald. And then we're gonna try to get right to the teen mental the world teen mental health day because I think that's very important. I think it has been really hitting our teens harder than ever before. So if you could pass me my phone right there, please. And are you going to read the first trivia in the background? Okay. And then you all could just listen up for the trivia and I'll make sure that I watch out for your text if it's anything. Speaking of that, my location at Fort Davis has did an outstanding job and Twin worked with them as well with that. So if you have anything that you want to jump in for Black History Month, feel free to do so as well. Because I know that you had a lot of information on Black History Month. So are you ready with the first one? Okay.
Who was the head of the National Council of Negro Women for 40 years and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal for her work for social equality.
Okay, so was you all able to hear her? Because I think I may need her to read it a little bit louder. So I am going to ask her to read it a little bit louder. Hold on one second. And then let's see. Hold on. Y'all, that's how you feel today, baby? Okay, so you all couldn't hear her, right? So Dayon, I'm gonna need you to read it, but you have to read it a little bit more louder so that they can hear you, okay?
Who was
Are you on
head of
Tita?
the National Council of Negro Women for 40 years and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal for her work for social equality?
So Sanaya is coming and saying Harriet Tubman. Is it Harriet Tubman? No, okay, it's not Harriet Tubman. Did you all hear? I hear y'all. I miss y'all. Yes, we got to bring her to see you, Miss Busybody. Yeah, okay. So you all did hear her. Do you all know who that was? So Yanni, just read a few of the high points again. You said
She was the head of the National Council
she
of
was
Negro Women.
she was
for
the
40
head
years.
of the Negro Council. I'm sorry, head of the National Council.
of Negro
Okay,
Women.
Miss Height. Yes, Dorothy Height. Okay, Dorothy Height. Thank you, twin. Okay, and then y'all, when you're ready for the second one, we're gonna do three, and then if you could pull something up on the World Teen Mental Health Day, because I definitely didn't know that, so I don't want to not address that. Dorothy Height, yes. One of the kids played her at the church Black History program.
Who was a civil rights activist and president of the Arkansas NAACP, who advised the 9 high school students who integrated the Little Rock Public Schools in 1957.
Okay, and if you can read it again, I just want to make sure that they heard you. If you can read it again, please.
Who was a civil rights activist and president of the Arkansas NAACP, who advised the 9 high school students who integrated the Little Rock Public Schools in 1957.
So Shamika just said Martin Luther King. So we are extending Black History Month. However, we're doing Women History Month. So the answers will be a woman. So it's not Martin Luther King, but thank you so much for your guess. And Sanaya is supporting her with Martin Luther King. So that would be another no again. Anyone else know who this lady is? We're celebrating Black Women Histories Month. Okay. Oh, you find that funny? Bless their heart. Do anyone else know who that lady was? How many years she supported the 9 children?
So the 9.
Okay, so Flood needs you to read it again, Yanni. So a little louder.
Who was a civil rights activist and president of the Arkansas NAACP, who advised the 9 high school students who integrated the Little Rock Public Schools in 1957.
Okay, she advised the students who integrated the Little Rock what did you say? Public schools. Do anyone? Okay, Daisy Bates. Is that who they? Okay. Thank you, Sanaya. Daisy Bates. And believe it or not, I know about the 9 students who integrated that system, but I don't really know Daisy Bates. I'm going to make it my business to read up on that.
She wasn't one of the students. She was an activist who advised.
Rise them, right? Yeah, but I don't know a lot of about her. Daisy Lee May Bates. Excellent. Okay. Hey Nick. Okay, so Dayan is going to get ready to get us another one. Again, we're celebrating Women's History Month. And if there's anyone that you all would like to shout out for Women's History Month, like if you know someone that overcame something, you may feel free to shout them out as well and tell us a little bit about it. I want to give a shout out right now to Brenda Jones. Brenda Jones was our Parkland Community Service Parkland Community Center director back when we were children around Parkland growing up. And she did so much for the youth coming up, made sure that there was camping trips, that there were field trips, that we had after school program, all types of Halloween and Christmas parties. And she was very active in the community, and she still is today. Although Parkland Community Center as a whole community center is still not around, she does have an office inside of the ARC building on Mississippi Avenue where she still works hand in hand with the community. So when we talk about Women History Month, this was a very strong, powerful lady back in our community who really fought for our rights and well-being. And believe it or not, for my DHS family, if you ever worked at Fort Davis, and I'm pretty sure he may have worked somewhere else as well. Mr. Charles Smith, I always called him Uncle. He also worked under her, and that's how I met him when I was about 9 years old. So for those of you who do know Charles Smith that worked at Fort Davis with us, he worked at Parkland Community Center, and I met him when I was like 9 years old doing the same thing. And that's why I will always call him Uncle as well. So just giving a shout out to her for Black History Month. And I'm a true believer that a woman can't be as excellent as strong male forces behind her. So giving a shout out to him as well. And then we're going to have Yanni go into the third trivia.
Okay. I like this one.
Okay.
Who was the first Black female newspaper publisher and editor in North America, and the first Black woman to enroll in law school?
Okay, so she was the first Black woman to enroll in law school, and she was the first Black
female
newspaper publisher and editor. Do anyone know who that is? That sounds like a very important lady. Do anyone know who she is? Celebrating our African American sisters and Women History Month. And while we're trying to figure out who that is, Dayon, if you could read it one more time, since Yari wants to chime in and say her part.
Who was the first Black female newspaper publisher and editor in North America, and the first Black woman to enroll in law school?
Okay, so Shamika had Murray Van Brittany Brown. Is that all one person, or is that two people?
She's kind of close.
Carol Simpson, is that who it is? No. So Shamika is kind of close, she said, but I don't know if that's Shamika, if that's Charlotte. I don't think that's the person. Shamika is
Mary Van Brittany Brown.
Mary Van Brittany Brown. Is that who it is?
Her name is Mary Ann Shadcock.
Okay, can you type her name in the link? But we did Mary Van, though, right? So Shamika, you got to stop. Mary Ann. So maybe her name may have changed due to marriage or something like that. And just a reminder to make sure you clear your calendar. The numbers are looking much better. Get her, please. The numbers are looking much better. Mary Ann Shad Curry. Okay. So that's who that person was. Make sure you clear your calendar for the 27th. As Tea Time will be celebrating their first anniversary with the brunch. The numbers do look better. We will make sure we have masks and all of those types of things in place. However, I think some of DC masks are supposed to have been changed, some of their mandates for the first, but I was down, so I hadn't watched anything. But so that we can make sure we social distance and that you can be ready and prepared to share your favorite tea time while having some hot tea if you want hot tea, or having cold tea if the weather permits. So we'll be doing both of those and we'll be interacting with each other. We'll wear some cute little name tags, so when you see people pop up, and it doesn't have to be your name. Like I see Sanaya says something like Lil XX99. So that's what her name badge would say. So when you all see her comment, you all will be able to put a face to the name. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. If anyone have any suggestions or anything else you want to add, and we're going to play a few games. So we're going to try to play a few games. We're going to have some tea. We're going to have some brunch. We're going to share some stories over the year with Tea Time, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. So thank you so much for your constant support. So do you have anything on, you want to read another one and then go to the mental health, the World Team Mental Health? Okay. So we're going to get one more, and then we're going to go to World Team Mental Health Day. And Ennis, if you have any information on that or something you want to share, make sure if you don't want to put it in the chat, you text it to me so that we can put it out there, because I am interested in when it started. because I don't think I'm that familiar with that. And I like to be familiar with things. So whenever I learn something new, I like to take it in and I like to share, but I like to make sure I have enough information on it. Okay.
So to tie in youth with women, with women's history and Black history, who founded the Children's Defense Fund in 1973, a group focusing on helping millions of children living in poverty?
Okay, so I definitely need you to read that again. That was nice and soft, and that baby was fussing.
Who founded the Children's Defense Fund in 1973?
Okay, who founded the Children Defense Fund in 1973?
A group focusing on helping millions of children living in poverty.
A group focused on helping millions of children in poverty. You already got a lot to say. Please give her one of those. Give her two. She's talking to her snacks and she's grabbed. Oh, okay. Okay, so we have Marion Wright Edelman. Is that okay? Congrats, sister. That's exactly who it is. Okay, so the first question is anyone else other than me that was unaware of, and let me go back and read exactly what Twin put in so I can say it correctly. She said today is World Teen Mental Health Day. Was there anyone else that was aware that today was World Teen Mental Health Day? I know that we had mental health for teens, but I wasn't that abreast about that day. Is anyone abreast with that other than me? And if so, do you know when it started? Do you know when that day started? Or when when did it come about? And do you have anything on that as well? Just feel free to chime right on that, or you can always text me at 202-758-8941. Okay, so Shamika said no, she didn't know. And speaking of that, since we have my cousin Trail on today, I just want to give her a big shout out. She gave her dad a surprise 70th birthday party on Saturday, and he is the patriarch male of our family, of the Mouse family. And it was really beautiful and decorated really nice. I definitely want to make sure that I say happy birthday to Uncle Butch again, and the outstanding job that she did. Do anyone else have any upcoming events for the month of March? Anything that you want to share? I know Twin, I often sometimes see that you're doing your cakes. I don't know if you started back up doing them at a different location, but when things like that arise, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're selling clothes, if you're doing your cakes or any food, I know a few people that does catering as well, or they sell like dinners on Fridays. Please make sure you put that information in the chat so that we can come out as a tea time community and support you. So if anyone has any upcoming events of support, just make sure you let us know. And Yanni, you're right. Okay.
So, World Teen Mental Wellness Day began so people could carry on important conversations about mental health. Mental health struggles are unfortunately common in teens, making up 16% of disease and injuries in people aged 10 to 19. Mental health issues start from around 14 years of age and often go undiagnosed and untreated. Suicide and depression are some of the leading causes of death among teens and can even lead to other struggles such as substance abuse in later years. And here are some 5 facts about mental health that you should know.
Okay, so can you type them in the box? So she's about to give 5 facts about mental health that you should know, okay? And she's going to type the first one in, and then we'll tell her when after we discuss the first one, then she can type the next one in. And thank you so much for helping me, Dayon, because I didn't wake up today till about 4:00 from that medicine. So I had to pop in, and I needed some help, and I needed a computer, and I needed all types of things, but I did rest my body really well. Okay, so it's more common than you think. 1 in 5 Americans have experienced some form of mental illness in their life. Okay, so looking at that first question that she just put in, and it says that 1 in 5 Americans have experienced some form of mental illness in their life. Do you all agree with that, Sada? Do you agree with that? What do you think about that? Is more common than you think. And 1 in 5 Americans have experienced some form of mental illness in their lives. Do you agree with that? And Dayon, you can start putting the second one in. I guess I would say that today, if someone said that, okay, so twin agree. I think if someone would have said that to me about 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been as sure as I am today in saying yes. I definitely agree. It's a fact, and it's a statistic. So thank you so much. And I know that they said that it has increased a whole bunch since going into COVID. Okay, so to the next one, please. um we lose thousands to suicide. 41,000 Americans are lost to suicide every year. Wow, I did not know that. 41,000, Donald agree, Trill agree. 41,000 Americans are lost to suicide. And when we think about that, losing that amount of people, what do you feel that we should be more aware of? That's about 112 people per day. Wow. Okay. What do you think about that when you hear that we're losing that many people to suicide? What do you think that we could do more? Do you think that we should check on people more? Do you think that that plays a big part? Do you think that we should be more conscious of our own mental health, like knowing it, going to receive services for it? What do you feel about number two, that we lose thousands to suicide um, um, each year? So how do you feel about that? If you could just give your input on that, please. And thank you so much, Ennis, for sharing this, and Dayon for researching it, because this is really deep in that. That's like 112 people. You know, we hear about violence from car accidents and violence with guns, but just to hear that many people is dying due to mental health. We should do better to be safe spaces for people and take care of ourselves by staying out of spaces that we don't feel mentally safe. I definitely agree, and that's why I'm a true believer of, once you know your areas or barriers that you deal with, or things that's a little bit more traumatizing for you than others, you should stay away from that. And then I always point out that when talking about relationships, when you see triggers of unhealthy things in relationships, it's very important that you get out, not only because you could be hurt, but you could do something that could wind you up in jail or have you in trouble too. Do more the things that bring us joy and peace, and stay away from those things that bring us chaos. You definitely have to. They need to be more programmed for teenagers. So are you saying for teenager moms, or are you saying said mom? Okay, so you just said mom to me. So there should be more. There definitely should be more programs for teenagers. I know that I don't know if my niece said this to me or my sister said this to me, but I know one of them had said to me that people don't always take it serious. And I like awareness checking. People don't always take it serious. So sometimes we'll see our kids going through issues. Um, and because of our own reasoning or our own parenting, we'll feel like it's not a big deal. If a child finds it in them, even if they're overly dramatic, if they find it within themselves to come to you and say that they're having some type of mental health crisis, please get involved, because it could be so many different things. So many kids are struggling at young age with their sexuality. So it could be so many different things, right? So please do not dismiss your children or your loved ones when they're saying that they're dealing with something to do with mental health. That's the first thing. Be there for them. Communicate with people more in real life, not just on the internet. Talk to your loved ones and check in with how they are feeling. um Learning indicators to quickly identify people in crisis. I love that. Learning to identify, like, as if you know your child, and we said that um as well as your spouse or your adult family members, when their behaviors change. So don't always assume people are acting funny. As soon as somebody changes or start acting different towards us, we say that they're acting funny, when really that person could be facing foreclosure. They could be facing eviction. So you get so caught up on making it about you that you don't meet the person needs. So definitely identify. We have to remember to check on our teenagers. They are seeing things that we as adults have not seen. Definitely, and my niece and my son talked about that. That is so true. They are seeing things that we don't see, and they're not always able to communicate what's going on or bothering them, and that's how depression can take over. And when we're talking about this today, I definitely want to share this. And this is somewhat from my own experience with parenting, as well as knowing other people. Watch school providers. Like if you have a child that has a disability, maybe autism or, special needs, or if you have a child, believe it or not, that has behaviors, children that's in some of those alternative schools. I don't know why y'all ain't so talkative today. She's never done this before. Oh, wow. And then when I say something to her, she stop and laugh. Right. Everything okay, Yari? Huh? It's as if you know what you're doing. Okay, so be mindful of who's around your child. So I know a lot of times that we as parents, we need outlets. So our daughters may be on a cheerleading team. Our sons may be on a football team. Our kids may go to an alternative school. They may go to a school to meet their special needs. Watch adults with your kids. All adults are not innocent. And it's not just your daughters anymore. It's your sons, because once a child's innocence is removed, it has a lot to do with their mental health. It has a lot to do with their sexual identity. And believe it or not, a lot of adults are predators. A lot of adults will work with kids with behavior problems because they know that those kids really needs love, that they're most vulnerable. They'll work with kids who may be autistic, that can't communicate. They may be a coach on a football team, and the whole time you thinking he coaching because he like football when really he like your son. So as a parent, anything that your child do, and tell you, and you really can't even say about time, because sometimes it can be family members too that's predators. But make sure you safeguard your children. Do not be that parent that just needs. Oh my God, now she's waving her hand at me as I'm talking. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what got into her today. We're trying to feed her stuff to keep her calm. But make sure that you're involved, because people, I know that Yanni had read a blog one time that she had where this man said that he only date women who have kids whose fathers are not in their lives. He only date women who have kids and their fathers are not in their lives, because he says it's so easy to get close to the mother and molest her daughters. So just think about that, because that's some of the things that we don't do, or safeguard our kids enough, because they're in certain activities doing certain things, and we think that, hey, these people just love kids. Don't nobody love kids. I love Michael Jackson, but that Peter Pan syndrome, that's not a good thing. If you're an adult, you should be able to have healthy adult conversations with other adults. Now, I love kids, but I ain't going to be getting no white van, paying a car note, insurance on a white van just to drive around town picking up people's kids. That to me is weird. Now, if your child has a birthday party or an event, I'm going to show up, I'm going to bring a gift, but then your child going home with you, okay? That causes depression and anxiety. My 14-year-old son has gone through this. He witnessed one of his best friends get shot. Oh my God! And he now has anxiety. Allow babies to go to definitely allow our kids to go to therapy. And when I was out of town, we visited the Tupac Museum. Wonderful exhibit. But the one thing that Tupac said that was so true is some of the stuff that they're giving us in school, we don't need. And I always felt like that, because my thing is, once we master math, what do? Give us more math. Once we master English, they give us more English. When there are things that needs to be on curriculums in school based on our current time, just as well as we study history, we need to study current time, and we also need to focus on what's actually in our area. So if you're in an area where teenage pregnancy is high, we need to be talking about teenage pregnancy. If you're in an area where, Caucasian kids are doing all type of opioid drugs and all those type of things, that needs to be part of the curriculum. So that's one thing. Oh wow, I'm very protective of mine, even my teen. Yeah, and definitely our teens, because we think that, I always like to say, teens, when you have younger children between the ages of like 7 and I would say 11, you can program them to do exactly what you want them to do. Come in from school, get your snack, do your homework. It's the ones that gets about 12 and 13 that needs the constant redirect, because they're dealing with peer pressure. They're dealing with their own sexual identity, whether it's, liking the opposite sex or liking the same sex. They're the ones that's going through all these trials and tribulations trying to find ourselves. So our teens are who need us the most. And as you all can see, Samante not on here today. He keep him in prayer. He's going through another one of his moves, been doing good. But all you can do is be encouraging. All you can do is say a prayer and keep it going. But I thank you all so much for all my women on Tea Time today. Thank you for being a very important part of our community. Thank you, men, for the men on here that's very supportive of the women in their life, meaning their wife, their spouse, their mom, their sister, daughter, or friend. I just want to give you a shout out, because men, understand your role, and by being more involved, you do make our world and our life much easier. So until next time, thank you all so much for sipping with a sister.